mind essence will be lost in confusion. Although all dualities arise from the one, do not be attached even to the idea of this one. When the mind exists undisturbed in a way, there is no objection to anything in the world. And then when there's no objection to anything, things cease to be in the old way. When no discriminating attachment arises, the old mind ceases to exist. Let go of things as separate existences, and mind too vanishes. Likewise, when the thinking subject vanishes, so too do the objects created by mind. You see? The arising of other gives rise to self. Giving rise to self generates other. Know these seeming two as facets of the one fundamental reality. In this emptiness, these two are really one, and each contains all phenomena. If not comparing nor attached to refined and vulgar, you will not fall into judgment and opinion. The great way is embracing and spacious. To live in it is neither easy nor difficult. Those who rely on limited views are fearless and irresolute, are fearful and irresolute. The faster they hurry, the slower they go. To have a narrow mind and to be attached to getting enlightenment is to lose one's center and go astray. When one is free from attachment, all things are as they are, and there is neither coming nor going. When in harmony with the nature of things, your own fundamental nature, you will walk freely and undisturbed. It's called traveling lighter, I'd say. However, when mind is in bondage, the truth is hidden, and everything is murky and unclear. So if the mind is identified with this idea of being a long-lasting, independent, and separate entity, everything is murky and unclear. It's sort of like being in this room if it was nighttime and someone turned the lights off. A lot of problems would arise in that situation. You wouldn't know where the door was to get out. You wouldn't know where the bathroom. However, when mind is in bondage, the truth is hidden, and everything is murky and unclear. And the burdensome practice of judging brings annoyance and weariness. What benefit can be derived from attachment to distinctions and separations? If you wish to move in the one way, do not dislike the worlds of senses and ideas. Indeed, to embrace them fully is identical with true enlightenment. The wise person attaches to no goals, but the foolish person fetters himself or herself. There is one Dharma, or one way, without differentiation. Distinctions arise from the clinging needs of the ignorant. To seek mind with the discriminating mind is the greatest of mistakes. That has been echoed quite a lot in early Zen, where they said you can't use mind to seek mind, you can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha, you can't use light to seek light. Yeah? That's why they say if you see the Buddha in the street, shoot him. Because basically you're throwing your nature of Buddhahood onto them. And that person, or whoever that person is, if it's alive, is going to fail you. It's nice to have dead masters, because then they're going to behave the way you want them to behave. The live ones are always going to fail you, because the problem was you threw the Buddha nature of yourself onto them. And then you demand them to be a certain way, so that you can be that way. Yeah. Bereft of the Buddha nature, yet looking for it. Yeah. Rest and unrest derive from illusion. Yes. With enlightenment, attachment to liking and disliking ceases. All dualities come from ignorant inference. They are like dreams, phantoms, hallucinations. It is foolish to try to grasp them. Gain and loss, right and wrong, finally abandon all such thoughts at once. If the eye never sleeps, all dreams will naturally cease. If the mind makes no discriminations, the 10,000 things are as they are, of single essence. Yeah. In Chinese philosophy, they use everything, everything that's manifesting as the 10,000 things. Their idea is there's the energy, which they call, I think it was Wu. There's the energy, and then the energy starts dancing with itself, and that's called the interplay of yin and yang. And in that dance, the 10,000 things appear. To us. we're that energy, and then there's this activity of mind splitting, and now we're thinking we're the subject and there are real objects. And in that, everything now becomes real, the 10,000 things. Maybe now it would be 8 billion things, yeah? And that's what happens. When movement stops, there is no movement. And when no movement, there is no stopping. When such dualities cease to exist, oneness itself cannot exist. See? When the solution dawns on us, it reveals the problem is inherently imaginary, then there's no need for the solution. What we're suffering from is the sense of two-ness, and we think oneness is going to be the solution to it. Yeah? But in fact, what the idea of oneness reveals is that there is no two-ness, therefore there's no need for oneness. So when movement stops, there is no movement. And when no movement, there is no stopping. When such dualities cease to exist, oneness itself cannot exist. To this ultimate state, no law or description applies. For the realized mind at one with the way, all self-centered striving ceases. Doubts and irresolutions vanish, and the truth is confirmed in you. Not by you, in you. Yeah? With a single stroke, you are freed from bondage, because there wasn't any. Yeah? Nothing clings to you, and you hold to nothing. All is empty, clear, self-illuminating, with no need to exert the mind. Here, thinking, feeling, understanding, and imagination are of no value. In this world, as it really is, there is neither self nor other than self. So, because there's a lot of selves trying to become a non-self, but as a self. To know this reality directly is possible only through practicing non-duality. When you live this non-separation, all things manifest the one, and nothing is excluded. Whoever comes to enlightenment, no matter when or where, realizes personally this fundamental source. The Dharma truth has nothing to do with big or small, with time and space. Here a single thought is as 10,000 years. Not here, not there, but everywhere, always right before your eyes, infinitely large and infinitely small, no difference, for definitions are irrelevant, and no boundaries can be discerned. So likewise with existence and non-existence. Don't waste your time in arguments and discussion, attempting to grasp the ungraspable. Each thing reveals the one manifests as all things. To live in this realization is not to worry about perfection or non-perfection, to put your trust in the heart-mind. To put your trust in the heart-mind is to live without separation. And in this non-duality, you are one with your life source. Words, words, the way is beyond language. For in it there is no yesterday, no tomorrow, no today. Can you imagine if you matched reality with your giving reality to it? What would it reveal self? When I was young, things happened to me that caused me to flip out, literally. My grandmother, who I grew up with, who was like a goddess to me, and my father died the same year when I was 9 years old. So I felt, this is a story, but it conveys a message. I had a lot of love to those two people, and so that love was going out. There was no effort, it was just going, especially to my grandmother. And then suddenly the objects that the love was seemingly directed at were gone, you know. I didn't know any idea, I didn't have no idea about death, but you know, person got and you never seen them again. They're not coming back in a week or like that. So it seemed that was a big shock to what was going on and the selfing trying to develop, and it just shut down. Yeah? And then its whole job was to make things that seemed so real, like the death of my grandmother, my father, unreal. That's basically what I've been doing my whole life, is trying to make what I believe to be real unreal, because I didn't want to be affected by that anymore. Yeah? So I lived like that for quite a while, and I fueled it with a lot of drug use and everything like that. Then I got into recovery, and something changed, and for some reason, I got to a point where I was ready to allow all those things I'd been making unreal my whole life to be as real as they wanted to be. Yeah? Like all the shit I was avoiding, I finally stopped and let it land on me. And it was a scary event, you know, because, you know, all the thoughts that come up. And it wasn't an event, it was a process in a way. And it landed on me. And what happened is, when I let them be as real as they wanted to be, they showed me they were unreal. Yeah? And then I realized that my making them, trying to make them unreal, gave them reality. Because I'm the reality. Yeah? I was so busy trying to make them unreal, I made them as real can be. Yeah? They dominated my whole freaking life. So in this case, we're busily making reality unreal, let's say, by our preoccupation with opinions and discriminating mind and this is better, this is worth. All of these ways are basically rooted in one way, which is to make reality unreal and to make what's unreal real. Yeah? Now, can you imagine if you would put that ability to make real onto what's real? It would also reveal something to you. It wouldn't reveal that it's unreal. It would reveal that it's real. Yeah? Your mind would recognize reality as reality. So the two-ness would get to oneness. And in that, it would realize there was never two-ness. But as long as I was pushing things away, trying to make them unreal, they was as real as I can be. As real they could be. And I never got it until I got it. Then I let them be. They all caught up with me, man. I made my amends. I did all these feelings and all this stuff and loss and all this. And then they showed their nature, which is unreal. And everything's nature is unreal. In that one level, that false reality. They're real because they're coming from what's real. But if I match what's so with what can make things seem so, what is that so-ness going to divulge? It's so. End of story. Finally, the process can stop. You finally hit the right number that matches your number. Your ability to make things so has landed on what's so. The casino stops. You get the jackpot. Yeah. You're the winner. You're the winner. And then winning occurs. Even when you think you're losing, there's winning. It's never, the game is always, you're always winning. That's why a bad situation can be a good situation can be a bad situation. Yeah, because mind is constantly just giving it the meaning it has. And now you've given the mind that's giving everything the meaning it has, its meaning. Yeah? And in that reality will now start influencing your experiences in this place that seems unreal. Yeah? So you'll have an authentic feeling of reality, not from things, but from the no thing. Yeah? And I don't know about you, but when I finally lit on that or landed on that, that was home. That was it became the last answer. And it's been the last answer for quite a while, and I don't see any new supercharged answer coming. It explained everything, but it was nothing that did it. And I'm in just the state of being explained all the time.